So a couple of things I wanted to show you. Show you my controller settings. One of the first ones we're going to change is we're going to change our normal. We're going to change from default to tactical. And that's going to do a couple things. That flips our melee and our slide buttons. It allows us to slide, crouch, and go prone without ever taking our thumb off the right thumbstick, which is really good. If we do advanced moves, if we do drop shots, we can slide cancel, all while still being able to aim down. The stick layout, I'll leave it at default. Invert vertical look, leave that disabled. We don't need any of that. Dead zone, this is where it's different for every controller. The controller I'm playing on right now, I keep it at 0.15. My old Xbox controller, I could keep it down to 0.07. That's just different. All that is to make sure that your character's not moving if you're not actually moving the thumbsticks. And then horizontal stick, our sensitivity right here. Some people, this is a personal preference thing. I suggest keeping it down in the medium range. 3 or 4 like that. I do have a taller thumbstick on my right thumbstick, so I can get away with a little bit higher, but I've played around with higher and lower, and this seems to be a pretty good setting for me. Like I say, whatever works best for you in that regard. The ADS sensitivity multiplier, low zoom and high zoom, I keep them both right around 1. That's the default. This is another one I like to keep changed. There is standard, linear, and dynamic. I like to run dynamic with the reverse S-curve mapping for fine aim control. It does help on long sniper shots, and it gives you enough power to where you can make fast movements within gunfights too. Controller vibration, I keep that disabled. I don't need any extra distraction while I'm playing. Aim assist standard, and from what I can tell, listening to the videos that I've watched and all the other players, most people run standard. Weapon mount activation, we want to run ADS plus melee. That you can be aiming down sight, tap the melee button and you go into it, and all you have to do to come out of mount is release. The other options are just ADS, double tap ADS, things that I definitely don't want to happen. I don't want to have to double tap ADS to mount, and I also don't want it to mount every time I ADS, so ADS plus melee is a good option there. The weapon mount movement exit, I keep that disabled. Aim down sight behavior, I want that to hold. There are some games where toggle works better, but for Warzone, you're going to be aiming down sight, quickly getting back out, aiming down sight, quickly getting back out. So I'll leave it on hold. Equipment behavior, I'm going to toggle that also. You've got the option to hold or toggle. It's going to be throwing grenades, stuns, flashes, things like that. Toggle allows you to, you tap the button one time, it gets it ready to throw, or cooks the frag grenades, and then tap it again to throw it. So, on use and reload behavior, tap to reload is default. Contextual tap seems to be the best option there. It allows you to tap to reload or tap to use, and it puts the priority on using whenever possible. So if you're standing around a bunch of items laying on the ground and you tap to reload, it's probably going to pick up one of those items. So get in the habit of always holding the reload there. When you're out away from things, tap and reload is definitely quicker, but it helps you interact with objects such as doors, vehicles, anything like that a whole lot quicker because you can just tap to do it. We don't want to have to hold and waste time getting in and out of vehicles or opening doors. The depleted ammo weapon switch. What this does is when you run out of ammo, it automatically swaps your weapon for you. I don't want that because every now and then I'd rather just melee instead of being in the middle of trying to swap weapons, so I want to choose that myself. Apply plate behavior, or armor plate behavior. This is default set to apply 1. I don't know why you'd want that, but you definitely won't apply all. This allows, as soon as you start putting in armor plates, it will put in all 3 of them, or 2 of them, however many you have left, and it gives you time to get back on the thumbsticks and control your character. For slide behavior, again, we want to flip that to tap. You'll see a trend there. We want to tap as much as we can. We don't have to hold our buttons down to do much of anything. So auto move forward, I have that disabled. And tac sprint, I am experimenting with auto tac sprint. With pretty good results, though. I have noticed it catches me off guard every now and then when I start to run and I really need to be getting ready to shoot. So, if you're attack sprinting, you can't aim down sight. So, play around with that. If you like it, great. If not, let me know. Leave all these default. Vehicle camera recenter enabled. Just, yeah, whatever. The parachute auto deploy. This is enabled by default, but there's some drawbacks to leaving it like that. One, as soon as you open your parachute for the first time anyway, you have to open it again before you hit the ground. So if you think it's enabled and you think it's going to open for you, you're gonna splat right into the ground. I keep it disabled because I like to be able to open my parachute as low as possible, and that allows me to do that. So if it opens on its own, it opens like right above the height of a building. If you open it yourself, you can drag your knees on the ground if you want to. But so those are my controller settings. Again, the big one there is going to be I'd say go ahead and make this change from default to tactical. Get used to that while you're still learning. It makes it a whole lot easier. I switched to it a couple months ago. It's definitely better. It's easier to move around, but the sooner you switch to that, the better. And as far as your sensitivity, find what works best for you. Play around with it. You can jack it way up. It goes all the way up to 20, and 20 is pretty nasty. I've tried to play on it a time or two just for fun, but it's pretty insane, as the name says. So that's all for today. Catch you in the next one. Dangerous.